Hi, everyone. Welcome to the dark side, where today we are exploring a metrics topic. We'll explore how velocity measurements can be manipulated and the ways metrics can be twisted for evil purposes. Today's episode, More Points Equals Better, is brought to you by the SmartAce formula. The SmartAce formula helps you accelerate your business outcomes by clarifying your goals and empowering your entire organization to succeed in today's complex world.
Hey, Christina. I was reviewing the latest team reports, and I noticed that your team, Team Tortoise, only finished 30 story points last iteration. Meanwhile, Team Hare is currently pulling in 50. I'm gonna need you to push Team Tortoise to increase their velocity.
Sure, Darlene, no problem. After all, I know how to game the system. So I'll just have our team change all threes to fives and fives eights. That should do it.
I think we can all relate to Christina's reaction, right? We've probably all been a part of a team where a manager or a leader was fixated on those points. When a team gets told that the points are what matter for achieving team goals, the temptation exists for manipulation of those numbers to paint the team in the best light possible.
Exactly, Darlene. If it's the numbers we are focusing on, we'll make sure the numbers look perfect and sound great to an untrained ear.
Managers and others who are only looking at velocity are missing the point. If you look at a race car's velocity on an open straight and compare that to another car's velocity on a tight, crowded turn, I sure hope they're different. If the number 14 car on the left is going to be going about 150 miles an hour. Meanwhile, their teammate, the number 12 car, who's in the middle of the photo over on the right, is stuck in traffic, and they're going about 50 miles an hour. If the driver of the number 12 car is told by the team manager to match the velocity of the number 14 car, they're most certainly going to crash and be out of the race.
Let's take another example. March Madness. Who completes their brackets each year? And how do you do that? Well, the most popular way is to look at past performance of teams based on how the current team is playing, who they've played against, who's on the injured list, etc. It's all about past performances for this season. Basketball coaches like Kansas's coach Bill Self aren't in the locker room telling their players, the Jayhawks, to increase the points scored, each player 5 points a game. Instead, he wants consistency in both his defense and his offense. He needs his team to be a team and truly believe that everyone did the best job they could, given what they knew at the time, their skills and abilities, the resources available, and the situation at hand.
Now, wait a minute. Did you just throw a reference to the retrospective prime directive into a sports example?
Yes, and I'm sure it also applies to basketball. Just like in sports, we all have upsets. We have teams who had awesome performances that fail under pressure. We have teams who are the underdog and come out on top. It's not that different from how sports teams operates. We all have good seasons and seasons where we learn. This is why, in my opinion, we have to be wise with the metrics we choose.
So true. A wise use of metrics like velocity can be empowering for a team. The team can use their own velocity to assist with planning and forecasting. It's actually pretty useful for Team Tortoise to know that, on average, they'll produce about 30 points.
Even though Team Hare's average is also 30 points, I'd hate to try to predict anything with the volatility they're showing, which is why using velocity as a standalone goal is meaningless. You've got to dig deeper into your metrics. Ultimately, customers don't even care about story points.
And it's not really helpful if the driver of the number 12 comes on the team radio to say that they increased their velocity by 100 miles an hour on that turn. But by doing so, they crashed the really expensive race car and lost the race.
Or the basketball player who says, I got you those 5 extra points, coach. I had to stop playing defense to make it happen and we lost, but I got those points.
So now it's your turn. Discuss your favorite examples of times when more points equals better went horribly wrong in the comments below. Did your team or company struggle chasing velocity? Head on over to smartaceformula.com to hear how we apply the SmartAce formula to rescue you from the dark side.